Man, I used to play the trap spot, propped on the block like I was part of the backdrop. Now it's scale, props, effects, and backdrops. The right lighting, you never catch me biting. Say you make it look so real when you pose the figures fighting. I caught lightning, stuck it in the G-talk. Replicate epic scenes from the Creed War. Compose pieces with artists that span the globe. Fearsome foes, Spidey in the picture perfect pose. Insert the comic book cutout to shoot a show. Oh, you ain't know? Yo, everybody know me. I made nerds cool, cool nerd like my man Zoe. Took the everyday display, gave it a spark. Welcome to articulated comic book art.
Now that's a serious construct right there. It's magical. On a solo mission right now. I'm actually not with nobody. I'm trying to go pick up these legendary comic book heroes. Look for Rigno right there. Just scored the whole entire Monkey Man wave plus the extra figure, 7 figures for 90 bucks. They wanted to charge me 95 for the 6 at first, but I went there when the owner wasn't there and kind of like swindled the his underling and got them. So I got a Monkey Man Builder figure. I'm mad excited about that, man. Shout out to my man Which Ones. He really kind of motivated me to get this. The more that I look at the Extremist armor, I actually like it a little bit more. But I really would have to pose it to really know for sure how I feel about it. I just feel like the posters that they put a lot of these things in were weak, so that's probably why we feel a certain type of way about it. But we are on the forever steps to the Hasbro Panel. So we're in the Hasbro Panel Shards Century.
This is just our guy with the removable mask, and this is our Mighty Bucks. So we're continuing with Mighty Bucks. We love them. They're going to see one here and there. If I can't see them. There you go.
All right. Some things we want to tell you guys about. Doing something different now. This is a peek at the new packaging. This is the back of the packaging.
Alright, that laughing that you saw right there was an exchange between Dwight and Dave. And Dave Honor had just finished going over the new Marvel Universe stuff being released, and then they were handing it over to Dwight to talk about Marvel Legends. And Dwight said something to the effect of, like, enough with the, you know, the small figures. And Dave Honor was like, yeah, but we getting all the money. So everybody thought that was pretty funny. I didn't catch that little part at the beginning, so that's what you missed there. And then they showed the how the packaging is going to look for the new Marvel Legends, how the back of the clamshell is going to look. It was okay, it was cool, but I wasn't a big fan of the art. I forget what artist it was, but it's a fairly well-known comic artist, but I forget who it was.
Greatest hits bases. We know a lot of you guys like the big main players, the Hulks, the Caps, the Iron Mans, but there's another whole section of you that says, I have those figures. I don't need another one. So what we're doing is, on each wave, we're trying to take one of those major players and remove the Build-A-Figure component from him. If you want him, we hope you do, you can buy him. If you need an extra couple bucks in your pocket that week, you can skip that one, buy the rest of the wave, and you'll still be able to collect your complete Build-A-Figure. So it's a little bit of kind of crazy. You guys like to see a little bit about wave 2?
Oh yeah!
So that was just when he had just finished showing all the other Marvel products, the Mighty Mugs and the Marvel Universe stuff, and basically I think that was pretty self-explanatory, but if you don't understand, they're not going to be packing the Build-A-Figure parts in with some of the well-known characters like Iron Man and Spider-Man and stuff like that, so that way you're not obligated to get another one of those figures if you're done collecting Iron Man and Spider-Man and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Reveal a handful of figures in the phenomenal inks done by Ed, and then we'll reveal a few paintmasters, and then we might actually have something to show you. Bucky Cat. James, I know he's not doing so well right now, but...
So they showed the inks for Bucky Cap, and then they showed a picture of, I guess, what was a prototype for Bucky Cap. At first I thought he looked kind of top heavy, but as I looked at it more, it looked pretty good, man. I couldn't really recognize most of the parts, which led me to believe that it was a new mold, and one of those new molds that they've been talking about. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about having a Bucky Cap and being able to complete some teams and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool.
Notice I said the Wrecking Crew. I didn't call out the characters. We're doing something different, boys and girls. Something different for us anyway, something we've never done before. In this assortment, some running changes won't just be a different decorative pattern. Some running changes are going to be a whole different character. So throughout the course of the year, Thunderball will change into Pile Driver. And you'll be able to start to build teams and some other more special things a little bit quicker now as opposed to waiting.
So that right there was big news for a couple of different reasons. For one, we're going to get to put together a team that we've been trying to get in 6-inch form for the longest, and the Wrecking Crew. But they're doing it a little bit differently. They're going to be having some running changes throughout the wave. And basically, Thunderball at some point in Wave 2 will change to Pile Driver. And then I guess they'll continue that trend in Wave 3, and we'll get the other 2 members of the Wrecking Crew. Now, that could be, it sounds like a good thing, but it could be disastrous at retail if they don't get their distribution together. That could be a huge problem. And I mean, I know those characters are going to be very, very popular, and people are really going to be trying to get them. And it just may be a headache. It may turn out how the Deadpool and Warpath 2-packs turned out. I know plenty of people that still haven't even seen those in their area at all. So so they showed artwork for Pile Driver and Thunderball, and then they actually showed what was a prototype for Thunderball too later on. Unfortunately, I didn't get that footage, but I mean the pictures are out on the net, and I thought he looked awesome. I thought he looked really dope. I thought the head sculpt was phenomenal, and it appeared to be a pretty new mold. I could make out the boots. The boots looked like they were Warpath's boots, and which are the same boots that was on Hulk and Crossbones. That's what it looked like to me. I couldn't really tell, but the upper body and the torso and stuff, I couldn't really make it out. It looked like a pretty new mold, but he looked massive. Looked like they got the size right, and like I said, the head sculpt looked really good, so I'm excited about that.
Dakin is getting his first action.
Let me announce Dakin. This is my custom Dakin from Solid Snake right here. I'm a little concerned about that choice. It's so many variables with that figure. Now it looks like they're going to do him in his Dark Avengers costume, which is cool, and which means that and I'm mentioning teams and stuff like that. Maybe we'll get an Iron Patriot, maybe we'll get a Miss Marvel Moonstone, who knows. But if they're going to do him in his Dark Avengers uniform, then are they going to do him with the 3 blades? Because, you know, during Dark Avengers he had 3 blades. He only has 2 right now in the comic. How are they going to do that? How are the mechanics of that going to work? Because that, you know, that could be a problem. And then the other thing is the height. Now this Dakin is about his right height. He's supposed to be taller, and as you can see, Solid did a good job with the height and everything like that. And then if they get the height right, what are they going to do about maybe an unmasked version? That would be cool. I think Solid did an excellent job on this second head sculpt. This would be a nice chance for Hasbro to give us some swappable heads in a regular series figure. I don't know if they're going to do that. So, you know, my concerns is the height, the dual head swap, if we could get that, and how they're going to do the blades, and if they're going to be durable, and if they're going to be all bent up when we get it, and different things like that. So, I mean, a good character choice, no doubt. The fans want that, but they gotta come better than Solid's custom for me personally. For me to be impressed with the figure. 2 more things about Dakin that they gotta get right. Now, this is the one time when Hasbro should not reuse the Toy Biz mold. I don't want them to just reuse the Series 6 Wolverine body and you know, give us Dakin and put the tattoo on him. That would be horrible. And then the other thing is the tattoo. Like, Solid did a really good job on the tattoo here and replicating it. Like, I hope they get that right, and I hope the paint apps on the tattoo is good, and I hope it's comic accurate too. So
the Madams of the Marvel Universe. Madam Mask will transform into Madam Hydra and give you guys a whole extra.
So that next reveal was Madam Mask and Madam Hydra, and they'll be running changes just like the Thunderball and Power Driver, where at some point one will change to the other within that wave. I'm sure at some point you'll see both of them on the pegs at retail, just like Thunderball and Power Driver. You just may be a little bit more difficult to get the Thunderball and Power Driver. But I'm happy with them picking those two characters. For one, because they're characters that we've never seen in figure form, and for two, they're female characters, and three, it gets us closer to completing some different teams. We get Madam Hydra, we have Hydra agents, we have Baron Zemo, we got Red Skull, we got Von Strucker. We could put together a serious Hydra team if we wanted to with Madam Mask. With Madam Hydra. With Madam Mask, the fact that we're going to be getting a Wrecking Crew, and I would think that they're going to do the Hood at some point, since they already had that mold anyway. We'll get closer to completing the Hood's gang if we wanted to too, or just having the Hood and Madam Mask together. If you don't know, they have been an item in the comics over the past couple years, so that's good. But what I'm concerned about is what mold are they going to use for Madam Mask and Madam Hydra. Now, they could easily just reuse the female shield agent mold, which wouldn't be horrible. I think the build on this mold is perfect for either one of those characters. But my main gripe with this mold is that right above the upper thigh, that joint where it meets the pelvis right there, it's not a ball joint. It's like a half ball joint. I don't even know what you would call that. And it needs to just be a ball joint, so that way you could get better range of motion there, and you could get them in better crouching poses and jumping poses and running poses. Like, it's just a cheap half joint there. I just don't like it, and I wish they would fix that. If they did that and retooled this and fixed that joint right there, this would be a perfect mold for either one of those characters, and it wouldn't hurt for them to add double jointed elbows, but that's not absolutely necessary, or ab crunch. But I'm just concerned about what mold they're going to use for the female figures moving forward. I hope they don't keep reusing this mold to death. I definitely want to see an ab crunch and some different things on the female body.
People have been asking for some Guardians and things, so we're going to start breaking some out.
So that was Drax, which was another great reveal, giving us some more interstellar characters, intergalactic characters, and with them doing Terrax in the first wave and Drax, it looks like we'll be getting a lot more intergalactic characters, which is great. I just hope they get the paint and the articulation and everything situated on that figure. I want to see a lot of articulation on that figure, and I want to see the paint apps looking very crispy on that figure. But that's another great character choice, and we getting them in this modern look too, which is really good.
Spider-Man. Big time Spidey's going to be done in his black and green costume.
So that reveal was big time Spidey, which, as you can see, not too many people were excited about and didn't get that much applause. It's a weird costume, and it's another Spider-Man, so I can see why people will be a little apprehensive about it. I want him. I want as many costumes of Spider-Man as I could possibly get. That's one of my favorite characters. And they're doing something new. From what I understand, it's going to be this body mold on the black suit of Spider-Man, but they're going to change out the feet, and it'll have ankle pivots or ankle rockers, as the Hasbro guys call them. And I think they're going to change out the hands. So that should be interesting. I like this body mold a lot, especially for Spider-Man. I love to pose this figure, so I think that would be pretty cool. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Hey,
so they showed that little clip to give us a hint as to who the Wave 2 Build-A-Figure would be, and then they showed us.
And once more, for the first time ever, the figures that come with the secondary repurchase, the Build-A-Figure components that come with those two figures alone will have deco and coloring variances. In this, also a piece of art that goes into the chest that you can then rebuild Zola as either the Red Skull, as he was a couple years back, and the secondary head will come with a red eye as well.
So when they said Obscura, they wasn't kidding. But I'm pretty happy with that choice of Arnim Zola, and I'm even more happy that you'll be able to get Red Skull in that suit as well. If you don't know, recently, over the past couple of years in comic books, Red Skull didn't have a body, and he was running around in that suit for a while. And that's what happened a couple of years ago when Captain America was seemingly killed. It was Red Skull fighting to take Captain America's body, and that's why he had displaced him in time and So that's great that they're doing things that have happened recently in the comic books and giving us characters and costumes from recent stories. I think that's great. A lot of people don't really know about Arnim Zola and about that whole story and everything, but Arnim Zola is a Red Skull henchman, basically, in a way, a scientist, and I think it's a great character choice because, again, it's a character that we haven't seen in figure form at all, and I think the figure looks great. Look for yourself.
To give to us.
Give you guys a close-up look at Wave 2 Build-A-Figure, Arnim Zola.
Instead of seeing 1 or 2 new figures a week,
we'll have one version with the Arnim Zola face and one version with Red Skull, which was a really nice touch. Not a big fan of this color scheme for him, but the figure actually does look really nice. It's about the right size. I think he could have been a little bit taller though. But it's a really nice looking figure. I'm pretty happy that they did this, and it's a round out caps, robes, gallery, and this is something that's a look that we've seen recently in the comic books too. So this looks like a custom that I've seen of Arnim Zola too. That was really, really nice too. So that's why I like it a lot too. But this came out real nice.
That's pretty much a designated, that's